This episode's FTR shoutout goes to Anne-Marie. Leave a comment down below to have a chance for a shoutout in the next episode. Make sure you're subscribed. So we got the late Takashi Amano, who is probably the best aquascaper in the world. And then we have YouTube channels like ADU Aquascaping and Serpa Design. And then we got this guy. Most of you don't even recognize that this is an aquascape, and you're probably not familiar with the technique. That's how next level this is. Inspired by Mountain Dew, the Kool-Aid Man would be so proud. Oh yeah! There's enough electrolytes in there to fuel you after a good workout at the gym. I wonder if he's running CO2. He probably doesn't need to. I mean, that algae growth is crazy. Anyways, welcome back to another episode of Fish Tank Review. As always, thank you guys so much for sending me your tanks, and I especially love the emails that have these stories to go along with it, and I read every single one of yours. But once again, I'll be putting a slideshow for the tanks that I don't get around to. Now, some of you in the comments below have been saying, why isn't my tank in your video? I hope it's in the next video. Yes, so when I edit and render my video and before I post it on YouTube, I've already gotten new submissions in my email, and that's why it's not included in the latest episode. It's probably going to be featured in the next episode. But because these submissions are truly getting quite numerous, I'm losing track of what's going on. I might have lost yours in the fray. But anyways, thank you guys for your continued patience. Let's get this episode rolling. So we're starting off with a tank sent to me by Felix Hohaus. I really like the look of this tank. I love the wood and the attached Java ferns, also the crypts, and the river rocks really accent the very clean substrate. This is a very nice and simple scape, and something that I would set up as well, complete with the black background. Now the stocking choice is a little ominous for me, and although this tank is 130 gallons, 3 single-tail goldfish might be a little questionable for some, but you know what, there has been way worse tanks that I've reviewed. At least you're giving these fish a fighting chance to thrive. This is not a small tank at all, and the scape is actually very nicely thought out and nicely put together. This is getting a 4.25. This tank is sent to me by Danny Bozek from Unbox Lab. It's one of the more artificial tanks. I think the only real live plants are the Marimo moss balls. I do like the black substrate and the understocking of the fish. There's a lot of dissolved oxygen in the water as well. Healthy looking Rasboras, healthy looking Gourami. 3.5 out of 5. Kieran Palmer sent me this tank. Now he says he is a first-time tank owner or fish daddy. I see that you took the tips of the beginner plants, Java Fern Anubias, some Marimo moss ball, and I think the plant in the back is fake. I'm not really a big fan of the half hexagon shaped tanks, but you did a marvelous job, and with one betta it's got all the room it needs. I like the colors of this tank, and there's even a 3D background. The substrate color is pretty clean and nice as well. This is really good for a first-time fish owner. I know you've done quite a bit of research to reach this point. 3.5 out of 5, good job. Next fish tank is sent to me by Meval9. This is a gorgeous tank. You've got an awesome carpet of, I think it's dwarf hairgrass, not exactly sure, and then just an assortment of plants that grow vertically up to cover the background. And you can tell there's been some trimming done and some maintenance. I love the textures. I love that there's a little cave in there that fish can hide in. It's slightly just a tad bit overstocked for my liking, and I probably stock it with some sort of schooling Tetra or Rasbora to get that extra clean look. Now you can see there's that CO2 diffuser over here, so this is a high-tech, high-maintenance tank, and it's definitely working. It looks really nice. 4.75, great job. Now Boris PL sent me this very interesting looking tank. I really like it actually. This is probably the first time I've seen something like this where the substrate is very clearly divided and using these similar looking rocks, which looks really nice. And I see that it's even more natural with a little bit of wood hanging on top. The background gives this tank a clean and textured look. I like the wood piece as well with the moss all over it. The surface of the water is covered by, I think that's duckweed and some maybe water sprite. Adds more mood to the lighting of the tank. And then there's a water pump that's shooting straight up with bubbles. That looks really cool. Again, not so sure with the stocking options. I see there's some glowfish. I think those are Danio
But you know what? Overall, really interesting and really awesome aquascape. 4.5 out of 5, great job. This tank is sent to me by Old Turtle. I think the email said it's a 55 gallon, something like that. I really like it. It is the typical Discus / Cardinal Tetra tank. And you do have an angelfish in there, and I think an earth eater as well. It's set up with a basic aquascape with substrate and just some live plants. They might be Amazon swords of some species. There's an air pump in there, and I think that's a wave maker all the way on the other side. Now the tank looks a little bit murky, but I'm going to give my benefit of the doubt, because you know with Discus, they're really sensitive to water parameters and they're really like expensive fish, so you don't want to be messing around with that. Some people do a water change every day or at least 2 days. That might be why it's a little murky. They probably just finished doing a water change. 4.5 out of 5, good job. On to Reddit to see what kind of shenanigans we can find. Straight off the bat, we got this gem. Some guy trying to sell their itty bitty tank with 2 goldfish in there. I like how that goldfish is like, hey bro, we ain't gonna make it, we gonna die in here, man. And the other fish is just like, yeah, I'm dead inside already, man. I hope the next owner does a much better job. Now this tank is also inspired by Mountain Dew and kale smoothies. I don't know why there's a funnel in there. Actually, I don't even know if this is a fish tank. I really hope it's just some kind of kale smoothie. How can the algae problem get that bad? I don't know what happened here. There's like at least 5 layers of algae in there. Big yikes. Yeah, see, I told you guys this is the hottest trend in aquascaping. Look at that. This is Mountain Dew diet version. It's not as radioactive looking. It's got, you know, a little bit more water in there. Anyway, I'll stop making those jokes now. It's getting pretty old. Absolutely disgusting. Found on Jacksonville Craigslist. It's a 55 gallon fish tank, so, you know, it's not one of the dinky ones. However, when's the last time you did a water change? 2001? And he's trying to sell this for $125. Who's gonna see that and like, I'm gonna pop 125 bucks on this thing. I need my electrolytes. Okay, I said no more of those jokes. 14 out of 457. Fish under observation. Temporarily not for sale. Sir, what are you observing here? I don't think anything's gonna change just by, you know, observing the tank. I think you should actually sort these fish out and get rid of at least half of them. Yeah, there's Oscars, glowfish, goldfish, mollies. Oh, this is a 10 gallon. All right, yeah, this is amazing. I don't want to name any names, but this definitely looks like one of the bigger name brand pet stores. This is the biggest mess of a pet store fish tank I have ever seen. Not in my wildest dreams have I dreamt up these fish all coexisting together in one tank. I know diversity is important, but that's for like people, okay? You can't just be like, racism is dead, we need to end racism. That doesn't apply to fish, dude. That's it, I'm done with this before I get too triggered. Yeah, I love this caption. It seems to me like it's actually on display, so yeah, no one's going to be pooping in there and flushing. That's still pretty crappy. Get it? Okay. Those are probably goldfish, and this tank is definitely way too small. Wait a few months for those goldfish to get big, and then it'll just look absolutely ridiculous. As if it doesn't look incredibly ridiculous already. But you know what? 1 out of 5 for the SpongeBob.
Alright guys, we've reached the end of this episode. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to support this series. There'll be more videos to come. I'll see you on the next one, and don't forget to get your hands wet.